tired from Friday night. Hi, welcome. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast and to this beautiful garden in Sarasota, Florida. It's the Sarasota Garden Club that we're at. And we will continue to be outside for as long as the weather permits. I'm loving it. I feel so energized being out here. I just absolutely love it. So I'm Theresa Fieberts, and I look around and I see the divine. I look around and I see unique, one-of-a-kind expressions. Living spirit to form has created this morning. How awesome is that? So happy to see each one of you here. Together, we're creating a world that works for everyone. That's what we do. That's what we do when we do our own personal spiritual work, you know? Because there's an illusion that we're separate. There's an illusion about that. So what we do, each one of us, affects the whole. So here at the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, we're offering tools to help you transform your own personal life and thereby transform the world. It really can be that simple. I believe that. I believe that. And we're all, in doing that, waking up to our own spiritual magnificence and the magnificence of ourselves and then of each other. Then it's impossible to not see the divine when you look in somebody else's eyes, when you know it when you look in the mirror, right? So that's what we're all about here. And this year, this whole year, we're living everyday wonder. And there's such a lightness and playfulness about that that I'm just so enthused with. I really, really enjoy it. And today, we're finishing up this month of creativity. And so we have something special going on this morning. It's always special when we have Matthew Frost with us. That makes it special right there. He's very creative, and his music is insightful. And I personally know that he's made changes in his life so he can do his music, his own personal music, his thing. Yeah, his thing. And then we have something else that's very unique in our service this morning. We have Truman Adams, who you guys just recently, a couple weeks ago, saw with his guitar strapped on him, but here he is with a paintbrush in his hand. And Truman, you see his art all around town. You see it on the walls, and you walk on it on the sidewalk. 2D and 3D art and muralist. So we are very, very, very honored to have Matthew here with us this morning and Truman here with us this morning for you to get to witness creativity in progress, right? Happening right here before your very eyes. Look at that. So each Sunday, we are about deepening our own understanding and our own connection to that source of all life, that which freely flows. And when we unblock, it freely flows and gives in as and through us. So I'm going to share with you my favorite Ernest Holmes quote. Ernest Holmes is the founder of the Science of Mind. And he said in his book, Living Without Fear, he said, there is an inner urge in our minds to grow, to expand, to break down the barriers of previous limitations and to ever widen our experience. This persistent urge is a divine influence. It's irresistible force, and it constitutes the greatest impulse in human experience. Can you relate to that? Yeah, an inner urge to grow, expand, break down barriers that limit us. Yeah, and to widen our experience. It's irresistible. It's irresistible. So let's take this idea right here and right now into prayer as we begin our time together in this atmosphere of the creativity of nature itself, in the beauty of nature itself, in the authentic expression and the diversity of nature itself. Look how nature has multiplied and diversified itself in this beauty all around us. And it has done the same in the beauty in front of me when I look at each one of you. You don't look alike. You're not the same. But you have that divine same spark within. and each person at home. And this is what I know for each one of us here this morning, that something in the music, in Truman's artwork, in the reading, in the message, in the person sitting next to you smiling at you, there is a deepening of this understanding and connection that this is a spiritual universe and that what we do matters and who we are is brilliant and magnificent. So let us all claim that here now this morning, and so it is. With that, Matthew, what you got?
All right. I'm going to get to the Boldly Go creative thing with my songs, but I got to start with a song by Nat King Cole. It was his first hit. It's called Nature Boy, and I've been doing my own version of it, just sitting outside and trying to figure out some sort of strange jazz thing on guitar that I'm not a jazz guitar player, so. And I haven't slept, so bear with me. Oh, I don't know why. I was just very thoughtful last night. Just like, There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. Then one day, one magic day, he passed my way. Though he spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love, to be loved in return. One magic day he passed my way. Though he spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return. Thank you. Happy Earth Day, belated Earth Day. Thank you, everyone.
Good there? Sound okay right there? Okay. All right. So, my name is Evan Schulte, and this is actually the first time that I've ever done a reading here. And I am on the CSLCC board, so I'm really proud to do that today. But it's a little different for me, so here we go with creative energy and action of moving forward and stretching past what we're comfortable with and into new realms. So I brought one of my favorite things here today to share with you, which is a writer by the name of Sark, and you may have heard of her before. This is her book, The Bodacious Book of Succulence, Daring to Live Your Succulent Wild Life. The value of your creativity. Your creativity is an immense force that is inside every cell of you. The value of that is immeasurable. Your creativity in action is so needed by our world and the people in it. No other person has your eccentric blend of ideas, attitudes, and perceptions. We cannot see with your eyes. No matter how lumpy or faded or boring you feel, your creativity is of value. There are treasures inside the lumps. Your creative thinking can save lives and souls and feed starving artists. The children need your creativity. You cannot say, I'm not very creative, until you have explored your soul and heart's gifts. We are each born so creative, then we forget our purpose or mission. We believe our doubts and fears and slowly stop being creative, as though it were a separate thing. Wake up! The light of your purpose glows brightly. Step back into the light of your creative purpose, even if you're not sure what it is. When people ask what you do, reply, I am a creative spirit. I just came here to help. Move freely into your valuable creativity. Doing it anyway. Creativity is there all the time. We're the ones who leave it. We wait for the inspiration to start, yet it's really the other way around. First the action, then the inspiration. I'm almost never in the mood to create something. It never seems to be the right nuance of emotion or amount of time, or apathy drifts in and whispers things like, why bother? It won't look the way I want it to anyways. Or just, why? Doing it anyway is just that. Create alongside moods. Create when your laundry seems like the most exciting thing in your life. Create when sickness overtakes you and you can barely walk into the kitchen. Create when you are ecstatically happy, especially then. And I have a couple pieces from Ernest Holmes' Creative Mind and Success that I'd like to share with you today. And we cannot escape the fact that we are made in such a way that every step in life is a constant choice. What we do need to do is to select what we feel to be right and know that the universe will never deny us anything. We choose and mind creates. We should endeavor to choose that which will express always a greater life. We must remember that the Spirit is always seeking to express love and beauty through us. If we are attuned to these and are working in harmony with the great creative power, we need have no doubt about its willingness to work for us. We must know exactly what it is that we wish for and get the perfect mental picture of it. We must believe absolutely that we now have it and never do or say anything that denies it. The universe is teeming with activity. There is motion everywhere. Nothing ever stands still. All activity comes from mind. If we want to be in line with things, we must move. This doesn't mean that we must strain or struggle, but we must be willing to do our part by letting the law work through us. God can only do for us what we will allow him to do through us. Intelligence gives us ideas, and in turn we work on them. But our work is no longer done in any sense of doubt or fear, for we know we are dealing with something that never makes a mistake. We proceed with a calm confidence born of the inner trust in a power that is infinite. Behind all of our movements, then, is a great purpose, to let the law work through us. And so it is.
Man, that was good. Yeah, very nice. What was that book? The Succulents? What was the? I like the. That was very. That like led in perfectly. I wasn't gonna play this song, but now I'm like, all right, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, because this song's about. I just my latest original song I wrote, and it's about. Uh, it is about. It's called Prayers and Fantasies, and some of us get them confused a little bit. I do, because when I pray, I'm fantastical and I dream big, and that stuff will happen if I believe in it enough, and if I pray enough. But also, I fantasize a lot. I'm very creative, but my mind's very creative, so I like to create scenarios, and they're very ridiculous usually, but they seem very real, and they're very fearful, and that is what this song's about. To just in the Ernest Holmes things is about that too. What he was saying is just stop creating those fearful scenarios all the time and actually just believe that it's going to be okay, and usually it is, and usually those things are ridiculous. Sometimes they're for a reason, and you get a gut feeling, but a lot of times they're just fantasies, and they're not prayers. So check this out. Oh, we're going to need to tune that a little bit. right with me. So many things that I fear end up not being real or happening. So why do I waste all these days with worrying about these dark fantasies that never end up really happening. But something's not quite right with me. So many things that I fear end up not being real, ever really happening. So then why do I waste all these days with worrying about these dark fantasies that never, no, they never end up really happening. No, they never end up really happening. Oh, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared. Scared. I'm not scared. Not scared. I'm not scared. Scared. I'm not scared anymore. Scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared anymore. No. So then why do I waste all these days with worrying about these dark fantasies that never, oh, that never end up really happening. Spirit, protect me from all of this fear and the world. Guide me to all that is real. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So this is what we need is people listening intuitively and moving by that grace that we're given. That was brilliant, Matthew. In a moment, you're going to know how it ties into what I have to say. That's crazy. So awesome. So awesome. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Did the camera get a look at what Truman's got going on? Yeah? Oh my gosh, look at that. It's blossoming over there. It's blossoming. Yeah. I have been inspired by Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic. Yeah, creative living beyond fear, beyond fear. And so she gives us that question, what is creativity? And you know, if we look in the dictionary for what is creativity, the definition is going to be something about using your imagination, having original ideas as it relates to some sort of artistic endeavor, right? But her answer, I love her answer to what is creativity, is it's a relationship. Creativity is a relationship between a human being and the mysteries of inspiration. Isn't that brilliant? Because, yeah, you know, are we going to really define? It's a mystery. Life is a mystery, right? And that's in the realm of consciousness, consciousness with a capital C. It's in a realm of consciousness where the unknown, the unseen, that infinite, unformed substance, you know, and it also brings us to that idea of a reciprocal nature of everything, right? Because there's a play going on here with it. And so the motivation and the stimulation of the ideas, as Evan read, which are from the divine, those divine ideas, no matter what they are, you know, we want to be open and receiving for that reciprocal nature to work, like we just saw it happen, you know? So brilliant. As I read that opening Ernest Holmes quote, that there's an inner urge and an irresistible force at work here, you know? It's a creative presence that's at work here. And we can name it if we want to name it and call it God, or we can just let it be that irresistible, you know, inexhaustible force or presence, right? So another Ernest Holmes quote from his book, The Spiritual Universe in You, he says, we cannot live without adventure because there is that pressing against us, the dynamic force that we're talking about, right? The dynamic force of that which paints the sunset and causes the soft glow of the evening twilight, that sings in the bird and plays in the child, that announces itself through us and proclaims itself at a level of our recognition of it. There's the key. At the level of our recognition of it. Every person then is an inlet to the divine, and I'm going to boldly add to what Ernest Holmes said, and we're an outlet. We are an inlet and an outlet. There's that reciprocal nature always going on, right? And so it's our opportunity and our responsibility to receive and to express, you know, to open ourselves and the world up to the infinite possibilities that just simply want to be seen, be known, right? So we're waking up and expanding our recognition that this is a spiritual universe and that our own personal nature is spiritual, and we're becoming intimate and fluid and have a sense of fluency about that in our lives. Like, again, Evan read, when we're doing the laundry, you know, all the time, all the time. And the more we do it, the more we experience it. The more we do that, the more we open and freely express, the more we consciously know that this is what is happening, the more we're open to those infinite possibilities. So Elizabeth Gilbert in her book says, a creative life is an amplified life. Don't you love that? I love that. A creative life is an amplified life. Yeah, it's bigger, it's a bigger life, and a hell of a lot more interesting life, she says. And I would say more fun, too, right? So Friday night we had a lot of fun. I'm assuming that's why we've got a little lighter crowd here than maybe the previous week. Earth Day Music Fest that we had out at the Sacred Gardens. It was absolutely fabulous. I want to thank all the musicians and the volunteers that were involved in that. It was a fabulous success. We had over 80 people there, and also a fabulous success, as Annie pointed out to me. We had very little refuse, garbage. We used compostable plates and forks and cups, and then had, you know, multiple use plastic cups too. There's the garden there where they have a compost. Ha, how perfect, right? So we had very little garbage. That was really great. And during this party that we had, during this time together, I saw and heard and felt and sensed Spirit's creative presence all around me in that garden, but in the people. It was amplified fun, absolutely amplified fun. I saw dancers and singers and poets and dreamers and lovers and healers and musicians and gardeners and chefs and photographers, artists of all kinds, innovators, inventors of all sorts, right? So see, creativity doesn't have to be Van Gogh's Starry Night, although that's beautiful. And it doesn't have to be Monet's Water Lilies, although that's beautiful. You know, doesn't have to be in a museum, right? But it does have to be authentic expression. It does have to be authentic expression. So Elaine shared haikus, Mona, masterpieces with buckets, garden tools, work gloves, and flowers. Masterpieces. You know, it was beautiful. Diana, I'm going to put you on the spot, sweetheart. The voice that gave us goosebumps, right? Guitar and major tambourine playing while she was dancing. That was pretty awesome. She brought her employer and his family, and they know her creativity through a hammer and a paintbrush and those kinds of things. But no matter what that woman's creativity is, it is heart-centered, it is the divine expressing through her. She is creating an authentic life. We're proud to have you with us. Creativity is who we are. It's who we are. It's what we are. Children know this. They freely experience that. And we know it. We can experience it at any age, at Matthew's age, or at my age. I'm going to share with you an excerpt from Brene Brown that really got my attention some time ago. Kind of brought me to my knees. And here's what she says. Midlife is when the universe gently places her hands upon your shoulders and pulls you close and whispers in your ear, I'm not screwing around here. All of this pretending and performing, these coping mechanisms that you have developed to protect yourself from feeling inadequate and getting hurt, has to go. Your armor is preventing you from growing into your gifts. Now, I understand that you needed these protections when you were small. I understand that you believed that your armor could help secure all the things you needed to feel worthy and lovable. But you're still searching, and you're more lost than ever. Time is growing short, no matter what your age. I'm going to add, that's my addition. There are unexplored adventures ahead of you. You can't live the rest of your life worried about what other people think. You were born worthy of love and belonging. Courage and daring are coursing through your veins. You were made to live in love with your whole heart, with your whole heart. So it's time to show up and be seen. Several years ago, I heard that message loud and clear. Loud and clear, and I said yes to this idea of ministry that was inside of me. And Friday night, thank you, Roger, who asked me, was this always my vision to create this community? And my answer was a confusing yes and no. Confused myself. I've been thinking about it ever since. But I'm still getting to know this vision, and it's still getting to know me. See, there's a partnership, there's a relationship. The idea is growing into form, right? This is something new. To have live art. I don't know. At a spiritual community on a Sunday morning? I don't know. Maybe it's not. But it is for me, for us. Friday night's experience came really close. You know, it came really close, I think, to that vision that I've seen. We were outside. It was real communal atmosphere. Intentional community has always been part of what I thought, you know, I wanted to create. I mean, heck, that goes back to the 70s, you know, when I was thinking about that and Mother Earth magazine first came out. Organic gardening and tiny houses with a central building. And I have that design in my head. I know what that building looks like. Not very dissimilar from this building. But music is at the forefront of it. Art is at the forefront of it. Expression, creative self-expression is right there, front and center. It's a shared kind of programming. See, I never saw myself as a pulpit minister. You know, so I don't know if I thank or I curse Mike Rosario and Hector Muniz back there, but I do thank you. Because we wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for the two of you pushing me to say, no, do a Sunday morning. I'll rent a place for you. You got to do a Sunday morning. My vision was very lofty. But so it's still morphing, right? It's still morphing. And I want you to pay attention this morning, right here and right now. What's pressing against you? What is pressing against you? And what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel ageless? What makes you feel vibrant? And then ask yourself, what the hell are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Right? And then ask yourself, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? I've asked myself that question. I still have to ask myself that question. Matthew, so appropriate. Yes. Are you afraid you're going to upset your family? Check. Are you afraid you won't make any money? Check. Are you afraid you're too old? Too short? Too young? Too tall? I don't know. Those are mine. You get your own. Fear is boring. Fear is boring. It's just boring, isn't it? But you're creative. There's nothing boring about you. There's nothing boring about your personality. There's nothing boring about your characteristics. There's nothing boring about your dreams. There's nothing boring about you, right? So, we want to make friends with our fear. We want to make friends with it, make space for it, and make peace with it. I'm always preaching about non-resistance. That's what I'm talking about here. Don't push it away. Embrace it. Talk to it. Ask it questions. I'm sure there was a day since Truman proclaimed that he was going to be a professional artist at the age of 19. I bet fear has popped in there before, and I bet he's had a couple of those questions that he had to answer. But aren't we glad that he kept going? Yeah. And Matthew, I know you struggle with that. And we're glad you keep going. Yeah. Makes a difference in the world. So bring your fear along. Don't let it drive. You know, bring it along. Just don't let it drive. So with creativity, see, we don't have to ask permission. We don't have to ask permission. No permission needed. Creativity, again, is totally who you are, right? Totally who you are. It's what life is, and it's how life continues to happen is by means of creativity. So do what brings you life. Again, Elizabeth Gilbert had an interesting take on this. She said, we are free to create, free to explore, free to express from a sense of entitlement. Now, don't we think of that word as a negative word? Entitlement, oh, that generation's entitled. Have you heard that, Evan? Yeah. Yeah, we use it as a negative, don't we? So she's not using it that way. She's saying we're entitled because we're one with the one. We're entitled because we're the incarnation of spirit. We're entitled because it's all divine, right? We're entitled because the living spirit's moving in us and through us. Yeah, we're entitled. Amen, we're entitled. We're allowed to be here. We're allowed to have a voice. We're allowed to have a vision. We're allowed to go after it. Yes, yes, we are. The poet David White says that's the arrogance of belonging. Don't you love it? The arrogance of belonging. That's what Science of Mind is all about. That's what we teach, that there's only one thing ever happening, and it's that divine infinite coming into form by means of us. No permission, no apologies necessary. Get out there and do it boldly. That's it, right? And there's great ideas everywhere. They're all around. Edison told us this, right? Snatch it. If you don't snatch it, I will, There's great ideas all around. I don't want you to expect something of me on a Sunday morning. That's kind of my own personal challenge. I want to surprise you on a Sunday morning. Don't put me in a box, because I'm not going to stay there, And I'm going to always encourage you to be the same way. The same way. So, again, Elizabeth Gilbert, she calls these ideas, these divine ideas, disembodied energetic life form. Don't you love that? Yeah. Disembodied energetic life form. And we help give it form through our relationship with those ideas. Away from a sense of ownership where we think we have control and we're the boss man, right? Or even away from the idea of parenthood where we are birthing this baby, because then there might be a day we're going to throw the baby out. That's kind of nasty, right? So away from those ideas of ownership and control to an idea of partnership. This thing's moving and dancing in me. How can I play with it? How do I dance with it? How do I bend and be flexible with it? How can I be fluid with it? Right? It's a partnership. It's about cooperation. And she says the next thing that happens is you're feeling it. And then after that, all signs point to, this is your idea. You're going with it. It's it becomes concrete thing. But we still want to remain flex and easy with it, I'm thinking. Which is perfect in this idea that we have this year of living everyday wonder. We bring a sense of curiosity to life. We don't fight against it. We embrace and dance with it. So in her last chapter, in her book, is called Accidental Grace. And she has this beautiful story that I want to close with and share with you about Bali. And the beautiful, and look at this flower over here, Bali, huh? So there's this, the Balinese dance, right? You can picture the women doing this beautiful Balinese dance, right? Beautiful, sacred, ritualistic Balinese dance. And it's an ancient art form, and they do it in the holy temples, and it's a choreography that is passed down from generation to generation to generation, or had been. In the 1960s, there was a real growing popularity around Bali. And soon the temples were overflowing with tourists that were there watching these elegant, beautiful, creative dances, sacred, ritual. And the idea, the capital I, came to take those dances to where the tourists were because the temples were overflowing. So that's what they did. They took them to the resorts, and the women and the men were doing the dances, and there's boys and girls involved, and they're doing the dances, right? And well-meaning Westerners kind of took offense. You know, like, this doesn't seem very sacred. You're making money now off of these dances, and people are drinking, for God's sakes, while these dances are going on. And so they were seeing this mixture of the sacred and the profane, right, as something bad, something unwanted. So that's not really a thing in Bali. They didn't even have language for it. They didn't really understand what's the big deal. What's the fuss all about? They didn't really get it, you know. The priests were a little confused, and but they decided, well, their cultural feeling is the divine wherever, whenever, however. The divine is the divine, right? So they got together, though, because there was really this uprising. They got together with the masters of dance and had an inspired idea. New dances. We'll take the sacred ones back to the temple. We'll have some new modern dance moves, you know, and these will be unholy, you know, divine-free zone of dancing, you know. And we can do it poolside, and people can drink their Mai Tais, and it solves the whole problem, they thought, you know. This will be fine. She said it was, quote, inspired by a marvelous ethic of lightness and trust. Again, no drama, no trauma, you know, just flow, flex, right? So soon, these poolside gyrations, you know, nonsense gyrations, meaningless gyrations, really, for entertainment only dance moves, took on a different light, though. Just a few years, while people were making money and plenty of drinks were flowing, Spirit was flowing, too. Can't be denied. It's always present, right? So something was happening. Those dances were being transformed. The people were being transformed. Soon there was a for the dancers, for the people watching. Big magic, she said. Big magic was happening. See, it can't be denied. It can't be denied in Bali, and it cannot be denied in you. In you, right? So the priests borrowed those new dances. They incorporated the ritual and the prayer, replaced some of the old ones. The holy and the profane were never separate anyway. It was simply an illusion. It's always simply an illusion. If we say God and, there's one thing happening. And it's beautiful and it's brilliant, and it is you in every way. So ask yourself what big magic wants to happen through you this day and every day. Matthew. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I had something else. Sorry. Matthew, you can come up, though, because this just take a couple minutes. But we have a couple guests here this morning. So Beth and Veronica from Also Youth. And can we turn this mic on? Can we turn this mic on? So, you know, we tithe. We're a tithing community. We take 10% of our income, and we do it quarterly and give it out to we tithe to the Centers for Spiritual Living globally, our international starship, and then locally. And we look for where we see Spirit moving in the world. And we see Spirit moving in the world in the work of Also Youth. And so would you like to, Veronica, accept this $850? What we've done is we're keeping 100 out because of the matching grants with the Giving Challenge that starts on Tuesday. And I understand that they only match 100. So anyway, if it's more than that, I'll take that check back and we'll make it work, you know, like whatever. Every little bit helps. But go ahead and tell us about who you are, what you're doing.
Yes, so first of all, thank you so much for your generosity. So Also Youth is an organization. We actually have a location just a couple blocks up the road here on Boulevard of the Arts. And we're an organization that serves LGBTQ plus youth and their allies. And yes. So We exist to give these youth support and empowerment and the knowledge that they are loved. And we work to create inclusive communities that help support these youth everywhere they go, not just in our centers. And so we are feeling very much in line with
Right.
everything that's happening here. I mean, we actually just celebrated Earth Day with the youth by potting some succulents and decorating some terracotta pots. And so we are really celebrating the creativity. We're finding that creativity from the youth of how they have the audacity to dream big and imagine a life and a world that we all create together, where the audacity of acceptance, the arrogance of acceptance and identity. And so there, as mentioned earlier today, there are some fears. We are living through some challenging times right now, but not letting that fear challenge us, inviting it into dialogue and seeing how we can work together through our action. I can't remember who said it right now, but the antidote to worry is action, is a quote I like to live by.
Yes.
And so we are challenging that fear to have that dialogue, and so we are putting everything into action. We create space for the youth to come in. We have a center where they can come in and just be themselves. We have donations of clothing. We have a whole closet of clothes that they are allowed to just go free, find what works for them, find that creativity of expression through clothing, through makeup, through any kind of gender expression, any kind of physical expression that they want. We have an annual prom where we get lots of awesome prom dresses and suits and all kinds of creativity, and they can come dress how they want, dance with who they want to dance with, and just experience that creativity of inclusion and acceptance and love. We have support groups that we offer twice a week where they can come and help support each other through whatever they're going through, the good, the bad, the celebration, the support. We do different weekly programming events where they can come and learn different things to guide them in their creative expression of life, to empower them, to give them the knowledge and support that they need to go through the world and help transform into a better and more wonderful place every step along the way. So we work with schools, we work with kids directly, and we do that all through the generosity of people like you. So we thank you so much for that. We also, if anyone is feeling inclined to come join us directly, we're also at different farmers markets and different events, letting the communities know that we're there. We love having volunteers come in and work with the youth directly, show them what it is to live a creative, authentic life, and encourage that within them. So we encourage you, come join us every step along the way. Thank you for your generosity, because there are so many ways to cultivate that creative expression. So thank you very much, and we hope to continue to see you in the community. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, it's you, sweetie.
hardly believe love has won the children's song. It's a feeling of peace. We are one, moon and sun, earth and sky, God and I. You and I, singing in harmony. We can do anything. We are finally free. Let go, but listen to your heart, it knows you well. We're nothing to be. The time is right, we find ourselves and love thy neighbors well. So many people are waking up once again across this land. Love and truth them both set us free. One we stand, hand in hand. Learn to fly, free your mind. You and I, singing in harmony. We can do anything. We are finally free. Let go, but listen to your heart, it knows you well. With nothing to be, the time is right, we find ourselves and love thy neighbors well. We are one, moon and sun, earth and sky, God and I. Oh, you and I, singing in harmony. We can do anything. We are one, moon and sun, earth and sky, God and I. You and I, singing in harmony. We can do anything. Thank you so much. Thank you. A little original of mine there called We Are One. Thank you. There you are.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Wishing you love and happiness in this beautiful Sunday. Isn't it beautiful today? It's now time for our love offering. So, ushers, please prepare. And here's a great opportunity for us to give back to this beautiful community of ours. I mean, it's just wonderful. And don't you all agree? I want to thank with loving kindness to my minister, Theresa, and Bobby, and all of you for providing this wonderful environment every Sunday. Don't you agree? Let's give them a hand. Okay. And I believe Evan will be posting the various methods that we use for offering. Okay. And let me remind you all that showing gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to create abundance. Also, giving thanks and sharing that abundance is one of the most beautiful ways to appreciate life. So please, as always, give from an attitude of gratitude this morning. And with that, please join me for a short prosperity prayer. We align our conscious thought with the spiritual principle of circulation. We live this day in complete acceptance of each moment. There is nothing to resist. We see conditions in a holy light. It is all perfect. We are empowered because we know we create change in our experience with every new thought. We embrace the idea that love is right where we are, fulfilling our every need. We dismiss all habits of criticism and doubt and operate from conscious creation. Right? We're differently. We live with it. The seed we plant in thought returns to us and continues to evolve according to conscious direction. We feel the presence of and know we are blessed. We're grateful for this one life, this one infinite power that is all responsive and has already manifested in the mind of God. And so it is. Thank you for your support and have a prosperous week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you. And let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
So beautiful, so lovely. I'm so happy with how this morning has unfolded. I just so thrilled. So Truman, I'm just blown away. That is absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. It's just stunning. It's just beautiful. I want you all to know, and actually we didn't talk about this piece of it. Is this for sale? Okay. So Truman is a professional artist, as I did say earlier, and he's a freelance, and he will do murals inside your home or on your home, on the outside of your home, or just give him a call or go to his website, which is trumanadams.com, or talk to him here this morning. Find out what he wants for this beautiful piece of art. If we had a building, it would be purchased for the building, for sure. It's beautiful, and thank you so much for your time being here with us this morning. And when you see him, he on our schedule for musician, too, he's also a fabulous musician, so you want to come back for that. And Matthew, you always just blow me away. I mean, from the first time I heard you play, and it only gets better and better because you're getting freer and freer, my love. That's what I see. And it's just beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And I love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
And I love you, Emily. It's just
Thank you.
just so wonderful. I feel like you're family. So I love when you're here with us. Thank you.
I love it too. Thank you.
We're going to do more of this. Wednesday, the 27th, that's this Wednesday coming up, Annie Cedarberg is doing a fundraiser back out at the Sacred Garden. So if you were there on Friday night, you know where it is. If you weren't there on Friday night, you need to, you could check with Michelle right here. Yeah, it was just beautiful. It was so fun. And this is going to be a fundraiser specifically for the Sacred Garden. And Annie is doing her own original storytelling and music, songs that she has written, all around the idea that heaven is all around us, and that death can be new life. Death can bring us interesting and fantastic connections. And so she'll be talking about that and inviting a shared experience as well of asking people if you've had interesting communication with people that have passed on and you have continued to feel their presence. And this will be a nice sacred space to be able to share that kind of a thing. And it'll just be wonderful. We'll be back out there for that. Meditation began last Thursday morning. The book club is morphed into a new book. Mindy Simmons' Celebration of Life is going to be at Unity of Sarasota, May 7th. So everybody is invited to that. That is at 4 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock that same day, Rev G is leading the Labyrinth Walk at Unity's Labyrinth because it is World Labyrinth Day. So we will be walking each step for peace, each step for peace. And so that's the same day, May 7th at 1 o'clock. The Celebration of Life is at 4 o'clock. You can get all these details on our newsletter. You can go to Facebook to get on our newsletter. You can go to our website, CSLCulturalCoast.org, to get on our newsletter. And then you can have easy access to sign up to register for these things and get more information. And Bobby?
If you'd like prayer support today, prayer partners are here to have a 5-minute prayer. Whoever's available, if it's a prayer partner, raise your hand. Effie and Tom
Cindy?
and Cindy are available if you need prayer support today. Otherwise, you can also email.
And Bobby.
And me. And
myself.
And Theresa. How could I leave you out?
I don't know.
I
don't know. We'll talk about it when we get home.
No, you won't be available. You'll be you'll be shaking hands.
I'll be kissing the babies.
Yes.
That's right.
Anyway, if you don't want it in person today, you can email prayer@cslculturalcoast.org, and there's also forms to fill out on the table if you want to write it down. So just wanted to say that.
All right. With that, I you all. Matthew, take us out.
Oh, thank you. I have just a short one for you. Thank you so much, everyone. I love you guys. I wish I could play for you all the time. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to play for more of these places, I hope, and I really would love to. And I'm not afraid to get in my little Kia and go places. So, gas is bad, but my little thing will get me places. But yeah, if you know any, connections to other churches or anything like this, I really love this one, but we can't do it every Sunday. Obviously, you got to give some for the other musicians, and let me know. I play every Thursday night over at the Art Ovation Hotel. It's like 1 block that way, and it's got the rooftop, but I'm actually in the lobby on the grand piano, and that's my first instrument, and I play there from 6 to 10 every Thursday. I'm going to get some flyers after this in case you forget, and you're one of those people that like that. They're in my car. But it's pretty cool. It's a really nice Steinway in there, and I mic it up, and I really go to town on that piano. I love it. That's a cool one. And I'm going to do some house concerts soon, too, more legit like this, with people that really like to just be quiet and no interruptions. And that's coming soon, and I'm talking to Theresa about it. So it's going to be cool, because she's asked me about other people touring, so like to give them house concerts with my piano and all that. So I got to do that soon too. So many things coming. I love you guys so much. This is for you all, beautiful people day, making me feel good. I dedicate this original to you. It's called You're a Star. Ooh, turn it on. Still there. Thank you so much.
written pages.